almost too crazy to believe this shocking lawsuit. Now, it alleges that a public relations firm hired to promote Papa John's Pizza conspired and attempted to frame the founder, John Schnatter, of being a racist. Now, Schnatter says that the transcripts of a phone call prove the firm's hit job on him. Joining us to tell his story exclusively is the founder and former CEO of Papa John's Pizza, John Schnatter. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So let's just get straight to this. You are alleging that this PR company planted these racism allegations and that this happened after you would not pay $6 million. Take us through the beginning of the story.
Well, we knew from the get-go that the tape would exonerate me. What we did know that there was two tapes. There was a hot mic live after the call ended where a laundry service blatantly, unequivocally had an intent to set me up, destroy my reputation, and to hurt Papa John's International. That's what the tape proves.
Yeah, well, let's actually explain to folks at home, and we can bring this up. I look at part of the transcript of the phone call, and the PR firm that you referenced, Laundry Service, that's who is involved here. And explain what people are seeing. Can you see this on your screen there at home and explain to folks what this is?
Yes, Jason Stein with Laundry Service, they were hired for $6 million, which actually came out of the franchisees' pockets. So they paid Laundry Service to actually protect the reputation, enhance the reputation. And what Stein did is he actually set me up and did everything he could to hurt the reputation. So it's completely contradictory to what he was paid to do.
John, let me ask you, why would this PR firm target you? Why were you singled out?
Well, I was on Goodell. Goodell and Wasserman, in Wasserman's words, are like brothers. So that could be one part of it. Steve Ritchie had let Laundry Service go, so they were bitter. So maybe they were retaliatory towards me and Papa John's for being fired. And I think there's a couple of board members that co-conspired with this. Steve Ritchie, the CEO, and Mark Shapiro, the head of governance, that Mark wanted the marketing business. He got a $10 million inside payment from Endeavor. And Steve Ritchie was going to lose his job if he didn't get rid of me. So I think we had motives. Olivia Curley wanted to be chairman of the board. So we have all these selfish, personal motives.
Sure.
And then we have that vendor because they lost the job. But the franchisees, I've talked to multiple franchisees the last couple weeks, and especially the last couple of days. They're livid that they paid this firm $6 million to help enhance the reputation, and the board of directors and the CEO actually went underground, went behind the back, and tried to paint
John,
me as.
But listen, outside of the internal politics of Papa John's, were you targeted, you believe, because you're conservative and because you're outspoken about your political beliefs? Is that one of the reasons they thought you were vulnerable?
One of the goals of all this was to get to the bottom of how this happened. How can you have a public company with a public board set the founder, the chairman, the spokesperson up on a false narrative as a racist? How can that happen? And we want to get to the bottom of it. And we now can link Laundry Service co-conspired within itself. That's on the tape. We now know Casey Wasserman, the owner of Laundry Service, was part of this. Some of his emails to Goodell and to Adam Silver with the NBA. He had the tape. He was going to use the tape to hurt me. Now, does this go, how far up the chain of command does this go all the way to, we know Goodell's in it, we know Silver's in it, we know Wasserman's in it, we know the board of directors of Papa John's is in it. Does this go all the way up through Joe Lockhart and Obama and Clinton? We haven't got to that yet, but we have so much more data yet to come.
So, John, I'm sorry, just to refresh people's memories, this goes back to 2017 when you, in a boardroom, a phone call, you talked about the kneeling at NFL football games and how it was impacting viewership for the NFL football games and therefore impacting Papa John's as one of the key advertisers as such. And then all of a sudden, before the woke calls for cancel culture were really happening, you were the first because there were immediate calls for you and your company to be canceled because you were deemed a racist just for talking about how the kneeling was impacting your company and the lower ratings for the NFL. That's how this started, right?
Not exactly, Heather. Therein lies the problem.
Okay.
On that call, all I did is tell Goodell, do your job and resolve this to the owners' and players' satisfaction. I never mentioned kneeling. I never took sides.
Okay.
It was my job. that was the first clue that something here wasn't right. How they turned those benign comments that were neither a side on either side, they were just Goodell, get your act together. You've got a debacle here. You're the leader, fix the problem. They turned that into kneeling until I was taking sides of the owners, and it snowballed from there. So that was my first wisp of smoke that said, hey, Shapiro and Steve Ritchie, the CEO, are behind the scenes here stirring up something that's not true. That was my first wisp of smoke.
Yeah, and the beginning of this woke culture, cancel culture that's happened to so many people since then. John, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story, and let us know what happens next.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And again, this is going to carry on for another 2, 3, 4 years because we're going to go to a jury trial. So the franchisees are going to continue to get hurt. They're going to fire at me. The board of directors are going to get hurt. This is a real mess, and it's not going to get resolved anytime soon.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.